And welcome back to the Game Related Network. Man, we got a lot of fun stuff this week. It was a good week. Just lots of good things, as always. Not always, but this is a really good week. As you can see, our background is City 17, familiar place for some.
Yeah, I'm a little scared.
Yeah, those striders are spooky.
Yeah,
But anyway, my name is Kevin.
Adam in the place.
Zach here.
Yeah, we're the Game Related Network. We're just going to talk about video games and hang out and do our normal thing.
Yep. Saturday night, man. That's what we do.
Yeah.
What we do. Cheers to that, fellas. But yeah, speaking of, man, you showed us some dope little Half-Life Alyx videos.
Yeah.
Regarding action and locomotion and just gameplay and
Yeah, we finally got to see like what the game looks like. I mean, we saw some teasers, here and there, but Valve released 3 separate videos demonstrating how the game plays with their locomotion systems. We're gonna play the one that is the dash movement because it's really fun to watch. It's a lot of action. But man, I'm so excited for this game. It looks so fucking good.
Seriously. It's mine. Like the graphics I'm looking at, the visuals, they're on par with anything I'd want to play. If this was a screen-based first-person shooter, I'd be going out of my mind because there's a new Half-Life game coming out still.
Yeah.
But it's VR, man.
And that's the thing.
And it looks like this.
We are all VR advocates at this point. We all love the where it's been going, and we have all... We all like Half-Life, I mean, I haven't beaten them all, but you know what, man? I've always loved Valve, and I am still enjoying the first one.
This part right here, man.
Right there.
This is the kind of shit why you get excited about VR. That kind of contextual action where you're just like, oh, there's a door. Let me just shield myself. It's instinctive.
Yeah.
If you could just do stuff that comes to mind second nature and it works, that is the definition of next level.
Exactly.
Like we talk about, this is like what VR games are kind of envisioned. Like, this is... Nobody can say anything about VR shortcomings after this, I don't think.
No.
Like, what's your argument going to be?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when we were last talking about it as one of like the weekend when they dropped it, and they had that video with Jeff Keighley and whatever. There was a point where they mentioned that Half-Life, out of all the IPs that they have, was the one that they had decided worked with what current VR offers or what they were able to make out of it, and we're starting to see bits and pieces of what they mean by that. And,
seeing how like they're really translating the IP into VR and like those Half-Life mechanics. I mean, we're seeing some really good combat here right now, which is for me very super exciting to see, like all the different weapons, like this shit, like grabbing the grenade, throwing it back. Amazing.
Catching one midair and then boom.
And then this here, he picks up. He's gonna. There we go. The grenade attachment.
Supplies. It's just so dope.
Yeah.
You really gotta look in realistic spots. This makes me think of the bar they're setting and how other people are gonna follow suit too, and other franchises that we might see get revived, like Sony with Killzone or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah.
March 23rd, man. That is close.
Oh, it's very close.
Just looking at that date, the 2020ness of it, that game, is like, we live in the future, man. Like, that is... We're here.
Yeah.
We're fucking here.
This is the future. It's this is a mark of the future. I mean, there's a new Half-Life game, and it's in VR. And okay, so they also released a couple Steam VR environments that are amazing. Nice. One of them is Russell's Laboratory, and it starts you off in a little kind of like Victorian looking room almost, and there's a big red button you press that opens up a door to get into the lab, and the lab has all this cool shit, but they have little Voodoo 3D effects cards, like harkening back to the original Half-Life, which was one of the first games that required a 3D accelerator, like an actual video card, and people complained at the time about having to get a graphics card to play a video game. And it's kind of, we're seeing the same thing now as it transitions to VR. And it's like,
that's funny. That's a good little callback coming full circle, sort of.
Yeah. But those rooms, man, or those environments. Let me tell you, the other one's also City 17's alleys, and it's actually you get to go to the spot we're looking at right now, minus the Strider and stuff. But there's a little playground. It's kind of hard to see with us in front of it, but there's
a playground in City 17. That's just something really creepy.
Yeah,
in and of itself, that joy.
Well, it goes back. It goes back to in Half-Life 2. There's in the very beginning of it, you go through a spot. There's a little playground, and it's one of the environments where they get to play with the physics.
Is there a way to make us like smaller on the screen so we can see it?
Yeah. Can you?
I don't know about from here.
I think no.
Sure.
No.
We'll have to figure that out.
I mean, we can check it out. We can pull the visual.
Yeah. But either way, still, that's cool.
Yeah, there is some footage actually of it, somebody exploring it. But it's the mood is there, and the quality of the environment, and knowing that's not even the full game, and it just gets me super excited for it. It's coming, guys. We're getting a new Half-Life game.
Yeah. In weeks.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of anticipated stuff coming out, and more stuff to anticipate. Man, no, excuse me. Not only that, and then news of like coronavirus delays, like shutting down conventions and all this stuff. So I feel like we're gonna get our news kind of directly fed to us soon as a norm. But I'm kind of looking forward to what we get in lieu of these things, because I feel like we're gonna get a lot of information kind of condensed soon. Almost in a way where like maybe we haven't seen it delivered to us like rapidly like that.
Well, honestly, I think a lot of things, some things are going to the Game Awards. The Game Awards, I think, is like the new big gaming event, and where there's some announcements and cool stuff. But I do think on the whole we are going to see a lot of bigger entities, move away from going to E3 and just doing their own thing. I mean, Nintendo's been doing the directs, and Sony's been doing their thing. I don't know. It's kind of sad to see E3 starting to like die down as a thing. I mean, like when we started this podcast, we were talking about earlier, E3 was like something we were wanting to go to and like check out, and now it's kind of like it's kind of fading. It's like its relevance in the industry is just kind of dwindling. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. But the technology we have nowadays allows for these companies to just speak to us directly and people to get the info without having to go to like a big event.
And that was always like a bucket list item, but at the same time, I mean, it had a good run, and maybe this is a necessary thing that's going to improve. I don't know, see what the resources it takes for them to have a presence at a show like that and to put on a presentation and a conference and all that. You could put legitimate resources like that into game development. Or that could fund a whole game, probably. You know what I mean? Like that could lead to literally more video games being produced.
That is true. I mean, thinking about the cost of attending physically, like a big event like that, especially the bigger companies having that presence and the expectation, it requires a lot of manpower, a lot of planning, and that does draw from funds from other things ultimately. So So with that kept in mind, you guys, with E3 kind of being like, what's going to happen? Do you guys have any big hopes on what you want out of E3, despite the fact that it's like, kind of like at least around that time, like even if it doesn't happen, do you think there's going to be like Microsoft doing their own thing and EA doing their own thing and stuff like that? And if so, what do you guys like want to see? Like, I think Halo needs to be shown.
It will. Well, Halo's we're gonna start getting. Well, I don't know if E3 doesn't happen. I feel like during the summertime or around there, we have to kind of get something, because both Microsoft and Sony are going to have to be hyping it up for the launch of their consoles. And we have to have an idea as to what's going to be coming out with them, right? And I kind of feel like Halo's got to be one of those games.
Yeah,
they started hyping it up long enough before this window of release is coming up.
Yeah.
So whereas if they don't hit it, I kind of feel like it's a fail.
Yeah. Because
that's a system mover. If they're of all the things you can put out, that's the one.
And that's what people want. I know for Xbox for, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That was what made the original Xbox so cool back in the day, man. And it's like Xbox had really good exclusives, but honestly, Halo was the Cream the crop.
That was the game. That was just like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Halo? Why is it called that? Everything about this is so interesting. And the stick, bro, I got so dizzy the first time I was trying to get into Halo.
The dual stick.
Oh, that shit fucked me up back then.
That's funny. That's funny. I think I was at the right age where I was young enough that I was still kind of getting used to like 3D gaming. Like I had I didn't really realize the significance of moving from like 2D to 3D from my NES to Nintendo 64, but it was like, I still played Mario 64, and it's like, I played GoldenEye. I was not good at it. I was much better at Halo, but not
cease button controls, bro.
Yeah.
See, that was the thing. Coming from, because I played a lot of 64 on GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. Those were my those were my jam. Like those were what got me into shooters at the time. But I don't know. But for me, transitioning to twin sticks, I don't remember really thinking about it much. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, new system, and now I've got 2 sticks, and it just kind of felt like a natural evolution. But I try going back sometimes, and that's where it's so much harder. Yeah. Like going back and playing those games now, like the reflexes aren't there.
Yeah.
You gotta.
The original Metroid Prime technically works in a similar fashion, except like you have the left trigger that you can use to lock onto anything. That kind of makes it a lot more streamlined. Yeah. But God, I want to play those games. I think Metroid would be awesome in VR, but I don't know.
Dolphin emulator VR. There's a way you can do it.
I'm gonna have to make it happen because that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, no doubt.
It would be awesome if. I think Nintendo should get into VR, but I mean, I'm not gonna get into that conversation. But Halo, anyway, we were talking about Halo and Halo Infinite. I hope it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Halo Combat Evolved just came out on Master Chief Collection on computer.
They just dropped it out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, they just I think it was something along the lines of, hey guys, tune in for an announcement on Halo Combat Evolved. Announcements tomorrow, and then it came and it was like, hey, out now. Yeah. Enjoy.
No, it was nuts. I remember just playing like a flight test like a week or a week and a half ago, and being like, oh cool, I'm excited, and like wonder when it's gonna come out, like and then and then just like all of a sudden it's out, and I still haven't like played it and downloaded it officially yet, but I've been seeing it's pretty good, and I don't know, I'm excited to see the whole package come together. I have seen some critiques. Digital Foundry did a really good video going through the game and like the whole port.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
overall, though, I think it's pretty much there. There's only some like kind of nitpicky things, like a couple audio bugs, and then like aside from the Reach one, there's also one in CE, and then like something with the shields that what is it Covenant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I was. Not thinking of the wrong video game. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm like so many video game enemies right now in my head. Their shields don't change color with energy weapons, and they don't react right.
Yeah.
Little stuff like that. But overall, man, looks good. It played well what I played. I'm excited to really fully dive in though.
Yeah. No, I did notice that with the energy shields, when you hit them with like plasma rifles or plasma pistols, exactly that.
Yeah.
A couple of sound glitches, like you say, like when you use a plasma pistol and you're rapid firing it, it'll make the noise of charging it up as well. So it's like, oh, okay, well that's a little weird.
Yeah.
I played through the campaign on normal for Halo Combat Evolved on the deal. I did the remastered visuals and audio. Just because it was the default and I didn't really think about it. I did Grunt Birthday Party. That was the only skull I used. But just went through it, beat it yesterday. And yesterday I also beat Halo Reach's campaign again, but on Heroic this time. But anyway, I started Heroic on regular today, and I got through the first 2 missions. So I'm on Truth and Reconciliation now. Going to try and blaze through that. No skulls. We got to do Legendary stream.
Yeah, we got to make that happen. For sure.
We're gonna fuck up the Covenant, fuck up the Flood.
About it. Yo, this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Kinda wanna like just put all our PCs in one place and LAN party.
LAN party. Oh man. We would talk about it a little bit, and I want to make it happen.
Yeah.
I
I'll lug the Dark Tower on over here and.
I forgot how massive that fucking thing.
Hey, worth it to get a Halo LAN party happening again.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god.
Oh man, we're opening a can of worms though. Once we start LAN partying, I don't know, man. I was addicted back in the day.
Oh yeah.
God damn, I'm so happy Halo's a thing that's buzzing, and it makes me that too. makes me feel even more so like Halo Infinite's gonna be a thing by the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Because they're hyping it up. I have a feeling they're gonna complete the Master Chief Collection right before,
right in time,
and right when they announced that last one. They're like, oh, and by the way, launch day.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That would be, or you get like a demo or something, because I bet you it's gonna be cross generational. That'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Kind of do what Final Fantasy VII did. You know, drop a little piece of it. And
Yeah. Very much like that. I really hope it's good. I hope it's good. Honestly, if I were them, the last trailer they had for Halo Infinite at E3, there was a like, you know, the whole 6-minute thing with like the bringing the suit back online or bring whatever. I wish they had, like, you know, done something with the dialogue where they had kind of like acknowledged like, we screwed up, we got to make things right again, and just have that be like a meta commentary, but like also in-game dialogue relevant to the story or whatever. You know, just like a little like, hey, we're not fucking around anymore.
A little like kept you waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that.
That Slip Space engine visually looks pretty good. I mean, it's going to be really awesome. I hope to see gameplay because I just want Halo to be great again. Just make Halo great again.
They don't really have another option. Like, I mean, honestly, a generation depends on it in a lot of ways. At least the start of it, and it's hard to rebound from a shitty start.
Dude,
that was like undo a really good start, even if you fuck up afterwards.
Yeah.
But damn, dude, what a bad start, dude. Xbox One as a generation,
it was terrible.
Poor Microsoft, man. I mean, they did it to themselves for sure. Like, you know, that Day of Reckoning, it was like May something 2013 or whatever. I would be dying laughing and so relieved if I were like in charge of Sony as I watched those announcements.
Oh yeah.
Just like, bro, it's over
already. And the thing that was worse about it is that you guys didn't learn from what Sony did the generation before that, when they just shot themselves
with the PS,
and had to play catch up the whole time by just getting overzealous and thinking they were way more than what their people were willing to put out for.
The other thing, man, Sony did a hell of a job catching up with the PlayStation 3. They actually outdid Xbox 360 in the end, I think, with units sold worldwide. And
that's a hell of a comeback they made. 'Cause
the reason I think was because of the Blu-ray, though.
The
Blu-ray was the system, like the reason so many people, not to discount the games and
for sure,
things,
but I think they did good with that as well.
Yeah.
But it's like it's kind of like the PlayStation 2 being a DVD player cheaper than
exactly.
DVD players.
They did it again with that.
They were like the top of the line Blu-ray. And
no,
DVD
my roommate bought a PS3 just so he can play certain DVDs and Blu-rays that like won't play on others because it's like an older one and like it's
that was a hell of a marketing strategy by them.
Yeah, I mean, Sony, dude, they don't mess around with the consoles, man. I'm excited for the PlayStation 5 reveal when that finally happens.
Not only that, like to leverage the Blu-ray technology because they own it, so Microsoft couldn't do it, and they tried to have the HD DVD Blu-ray war and lost. And
totally.
That was a huge power move that does not really get talked about that much.
You only see those things.
Boss ass move.
It's a once a generation kind of media format war. You know, you get those every once in a while. I mean, you had the VHS Betamax, fight.
Laserdisc had no competition, but just couldn't hang out after a while.
And that's the thing, they got that in right before streaming became a thing, and now it's just like, dang, you know, they're everyone's on top of their shit on that front, except Nintendo, because they don't have Netflix on the Switch. They have Netflix on the 3DS.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, really? So it's like...
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like...
Why would you...
They have a video game for Stranger Things Season 3 on the Switch.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. And The Witcher. There's 2 Netflix shows on the Switch.
The Dark Crystal. There's a video game for that on the Switch as well. 3. You got 3 Netflix games on the Switch, but no Netflix on the Switch.
Like, and we got a Hulu app. Yeah. So you know the technology's there.
YouTube. You got Hulu.
Yeah.
I mean,
no one really I don't think Amazon and HBO are as big of a deal. but I can't watch BoJack Horseman.
It's a tablet.
I can't watch that 70s show. Like, come on, like, you know.
No, but I kind of expect Netflix to work on a Switch for some reason, like more than I do HBO and Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, HBO is always been a little, in my experience with like Game of Thrones and Westworld, it's always been finicky no matter what you're on for HBO Go anyway.
Sure.
But Amazon, it's just not. I don't know. I think Netflix and Hulu are kind of the big boys right now, and you don't really like need the other ones unless there's something that really catches you. Like, I mean, you know, you got your killer apps for like The Expanse. For me, it's SpongeBob. Yeah. I just love SpongeBob.
But you should have the option.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's
I agree.
Portable.
It's a $300 device.
Yeah.
It's a screen with an internet connection and
touch screen.
It's all there.
Tablet.
Yeah.
When you take the Joy-Cons off of it, it's a fucking tablet.
It's got a
That wow. I want to know why.
Switch has been out for over 3 years now. 3 years. It's still no Netflix.
It's not happening, dude.
I don't understand.
It's not happening.
Someday.
I mean, you know, they've said the Switch is going to be around for a little while, so.
I hope it is. The Switch is amazing.
Yeah.
The more I own it, and the more I own it, like I can own it more than I initially. The longer I have it, the more I'm just appreciative of it. I got it for a certain set of games, right? Initially, that were all exclusives, and now it's the most like multi-generational machine I have. I play games from every generation on that thing now. And you can do it from other platforms. I don't know, man. That thing is phenomenal. Better stick around for a while, and I hope a successor. I hope they stick with kind of this format. I know Nintendo likes to innovate and change it up.
Yeah.
But I hope there's like a direct like Switch 2 or whatever.
I wouldn't mind that. Mostly because it's like, you know, they've got doing this with the Switch kind of opened up a little market, like a little sector of the market that wasn't there before. And as far as like, dude, I can play this on the go and on my TV, and that whole concept, it's just like, I don't want that to go away just because, you know, the Switch is going to become, a lesser thing. I think I wouldn't mind, like, if Nintendo did decide to, like, do a new home console and it was, like, just a beefier one. Nintendo fucking beefcake. They could have it exist alongside the Switch, kind of like the Wii U and the 3DS, or the Wii and the DS, and, Game Boy Advance and GameCube and so on and so forth. I wouldn't mind them doing that. But, you know, that being said, I would also like to see a Switch 2. A Switch Pro as well, but a Switch 2, because then it's like, you know, they're keeping that market sector alive, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, money speaks, and they're making a lot of money. I mean, they came out with other DSs, 3DS, 2DS.
Yeah. Well, we've got a Lite, and I think that is one of the next. That's the next logical market sector, I think for the Switch. I think they don't want to fuck up their market pricing and stuff by releasing a slightly better one that's maybe not that much better. I think they're waiting till they can build at scale one that's another generation up at a similar kind of cost of goods.
As far as this being like a Pro instead of it being a sequel one, do you think it's going to be one that's the opposite of the Lite, where it's only a home console, like a Nintendo Switch heavy?
I don't know. I feel like they couldn't take away that mobility.
They're already taking away
that. Check me out. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're all good. I'm just saying they're already kind of take away the concept of the Switch with the Lite, because it's like you can't dock that thing.
That's true. Call that a Switch, because that name denotes the ability.
But it's like it's a brand thing. It's like, you get a game for Nintendo Switch. Yeah, you can play it on your Switch Lite 99% of the time. There's an exception to the rule, like Mario Party, I think. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like, if they're doing that with the Switch Lite already, and I'm gonna avoid this discussion about the Switch Lite because there's something about it that I think takes away the value of it. But you'd think maybe they do go that direction. I mean, I play my Switch mostly on my TV. Like, I usually play it on my big ass TV because I have the Joy-Con drift, so my Joy-Cons are kind of fucked up, so I can't really play it in handheld unless I do tabletop with a Pro controller.
Yeah, one of my Joy-Cons is drifting now. It sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've heard there's an inconsistency, but the more you play it in general, the more you play it, the more it's gonna happen, because you're wearing it out, and dust collects and whatever.
I want to try some fixes, but otherwise I might send it back for RMA if they still
I think they're still doing it. I mean, someone at GameStop, an employee at GameStop, told me that they stopped doing it at the end of last year, but I never looked that up to find out. I mean, I haven't seen anything that was actually official. And to be honest, man, sometimes I go into GameStop and I know more than and I'm not saying just me. I mean, like anyone who like watches YouTube and plays video games and cares enough about video games could actually be more informative than the people who got those jobs. But that's a moot point. Anyway, I kind of forgot what I was talking about.
Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons.
Oh, Joy-Con drift. Yeah, so the Nintendo Switch Lite and the Joy-Con drift, because it's like the joysticks in there have that drift issue as well.
Really?
That's the problem with that thing. So I don't know, but
fix that shit. That's come on, you gotta have good controllers.
No, I'm not buying Joy-Cons until they fix that, and I'm not buying a Switch Lite, obviously, ever. But
well, I think you're talking about the opposite, right? I think what you said more is like the home-only, standalone, or like whatever. I kind of could see them waiting a while, right? Because you know how they already said they're not going to do the Switch Pro, more or less, in an investor meeting.
Yeah, but they said that because they can't lie to their investors.
Exactly,
obviously.
That's what I'm saying. So they say it there. I feel like it's more realistic that obviously they know there's a desire for that upgrade, right?
Right.
But the Switch came out like kind of mid-generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see now that this next generation is coming along.
They're going to do the same thing.
They're going to wait and kind of see where that lands and maybe actually try to land more in stride with it than they have been in the past. But I could see everything is backwards compatible, right?
Yeah.
What if there's a slot on the new console to put your Switch in, to play your Switch library, and kind of in effect will run the games like a pro would, right?
Oh, that'd be cool. So
but it's also essentially its own console to be on par with the generation. That's just its backwards compatibility functionality, right?
So instead of it being like a
Switch
Pro
dock built into whatever console they have.
So it wouldn't be a Switch Pro or a Switch 2.
No,
it would be a fucking
else.
Beefcake that would be
There
able
you
to...
go. The BFC. The NFC. Well, I guess it's kind of a football thing. But,
FBC.
And fuck. I'm not going to get this down right now. But, theoretically, a console with the Switch dock, I like the idea of that. I feel like, too, how else are they going to address that going forward? Because the people have spoken to both Microsoft and Sony, like, hey, motherfucker, we got libraries. We ain't trying to lose them.
Yeah.
I got a pretty big Switch library. I ain't trying to lose that shit.
Well, no, but I think they've done pretty good, Nintendo, at bringing a lot of their old stuff back. Not like the GameCube generation, but they've brought back the Nintendo like the original NES and SNES games, and in a big way. But I guess it would be interesting to see, if they were to release a second generation Switch, how they could approach compatibility, because the architecture, the computer architecture that the Switch is running on is an NVIDIA Tegra. So I think that has an ARM-based CPU processor, so I'm not sure how the coding works. So I think if they were to stick with a similar format of technology, with like the newer Tegras, I'm not sure what they're looking like, but that would probably ensure better porting of that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to get to a point where it's like the consoles where they're at right now, where they're similar to PC architectures in a bigger way. It's going to be interesting, though. I really want to see what they do next. I want them to expand on the idea of the Switch, but maintain its core.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like the versatility is so attracting for that thing for me. And the form factor is pretty ideal, but there's some room for improvement.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see for sure. A lot of people online are waiting for that Nintendo Direct. Now, me personally, I got my Animal Crossing Direct, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I actually there's been so much information about Animal Crossing coming out of PAX East, and a bunch of commercials have been dropping. I've actually been kind of avoiding this stuff because I am satiated for my knowledge of the game. I don't need to know anymore. I can just wait until the game's out now. We're under 2 weeks out. I'm so ready. Oh my god. But people have been waiting for a Nintendo Direct because once Animal Crossing comes out, if there's still no Direct by the time Animal Crossing comes out, since the Switch was released, this will be the first time that we're at a point where we have no AAA major game that has a final release date that we're waiting on from Nintendo, because we have no idea what their next big game is. Unless we're like, including maybe Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, but that doesn't even have a final release date. It's 2020, and some people are theorizing it's going to be as early as May, but we'll see. And people are just trying to figure out what Nintendo's got planned for big game releases this year.
Right.
I mean, everyone thinks it could be Zelda because that's the only thing we know about, but I mean, it's a Zelda game. You really think that's going to come out in under 5 years from the last one?
Yeah, because they're using the same engine.
Yeah, and they're using the same map.
Majora's Mask.
And Majora's Mask.
Yeah, but you know
that
what?
was really close.
I mean, they really also made Super Smash Bros. Melee in like a year and a half from Nintendo 64 to GameCube, and that was just the beast at time.
Still two different systems. Like that was same generation. Oh, man, they don't do that very well, at least in my memory.
I'm trying not to hold my breath. But, we'll see. We'll see if we get some more word on Zelda this year.
Yeah,
I'd be happy to see it, but I don't know. I kind of want to see him pull another trick out of their hat than Zelda again. You know?
Yeah,
a Samus shaped trick.
Yes, yeah, that'd be nice. yeah.
Now, what would you like if you got a Metroid game scheduled for holiday this year? What would you like to see that in the form of? What type of Metroid game would you like?
Shit. Trilogy remake, because I want them to take their time with 4, so I'm not gonna in a rush to get that.
Yeah.
But I'm fucking thirsty for some Metroid of some kind. Metroid Prime. Let me be specific. Of some Metroid Prime of some kind.
Okay.
I want that. I want to scan environments. And just soak up lore. Blow shit up. And just periodically see Samus's eye pop into the reflection of the visor. Just so I can get that residual nostalgic. Oh my god, that I had back in the day. That's what I want. Take your time with 4, but give me something. That trilogy just once you remaster 1, I mean, you might as well just do them all.
Yeah,
it's the way things are done.
Yeah,
these days.
Exactly.
This is the way.
What about you? You agree? Metroid Prime trilogy?
Honestly, that's what I would love to see. Aside from Zelda, otherwise, I mean, I feel like from like the Nintendo IPs, we've seen all of the the normal ones, or the big hitters. I mean, we've got your Mario Odyssey, we've got the Mario Party and the Mario Karts.
Yep. Have Zelda, Animal Crossing. We've got Smash Bros. We've got Splatoon. We got a new IP from them in the form of ARMS that didn't really blow up for them, but we still got something. We got a Luigi's Mansion. All that's really missing is like Pikmin, Paper Mario.
Oh, Pikmin. Yeah, I could see some Pikmin related something coming up.
Star Fox.
Ooh,
yeah,
I'd like Star Fox.
Wouldn't be mad at that if it was done right.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be mad at that. You know what franchise I always want them to go back to is Eternal Darkness. Bro.
Ooh,
that Eternal Darkness would be a dope revisiting.
Yeah,
I kind of want to get a copy of the game and just play it on my GameCube just to kind of go through it and see how it is, because I've heard nothing but good things.
That game was so dope.
Oh man, that would be.
That shit was scary. Nintendo actually scared me back then. You would be in like a pool of blood and shit. I remember even back then thinking, this is a Nintendo game?
Yeah.
That shit was dope. I forget who they collaborated with. Silicon Knights? Was that it?
Something like that, probably.
I can't remember. It was one of old school developers, man. I can't remember who it was, but that was a dope series. Our series is one game.
Yeah. I honestly, okay, so when it comes to, on the subject of Metroid Prime and the trilogy and everything, when it comes to what we're expecting, there was like a rumor that had gone out that there was going to be 2 Wii U ports that were going to be announced that have yet to be announced. And the Metroid Prime trilogy was on the Wii U for $20 downloadable. Fun. Yeah. So, that could be a thing. Maybe it's Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. If, they usually try and have some sort of Zelda related release every year. Anyway, we got Link's Awakening last year. I would be cool with Metroid Prime trilogy. I would be happy with that. I would also like if I got alternatives instead, I would also be happy with a new 2D Metroid, kind of like Samus Returns on the 3DS, but this time it's on the Switch, better graphics, and instead of it being a remake, it would be a sequel to Metroid Fusion. I would like that. I would also like Metroid Prime Hunters remastered. Remastered. Get it? Yeah. That was on the DS, and dang, that was actually a really, I thought it was a pretty good game. Some people don't like it, but I think it was a pretty fun Metroid game. Like, nice. It was very impressive for a DS game. Good multiplayer. Good stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Word.
But, like, apart from that, I guess, I mean, then we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as what, you know, they could do Earthbound or F-Zero.
I got one.
Mm-hmm.
Punch Out.
Oh, man, that would be fun. Like, now, would you want a remaster of the one that was on the Wii in 2009, or just
no remaster?
Whole new sequel,
brand new. Let's just get some new characters made up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, let's dust off Mac, or you know, have somebody else. I don't know.
Bring Mike Tyson back.
Oh yeah, because Mike Tyson's a good guy again.
Yep.
Yeah, he could be your trainer
like
this
time.
Exactly.
Come on, kid, you got this shit. You want to knock him out? Come on.
Yeah, Punch Out coming back would be awesome.
That would be
using the Joy-Cons
cool
to do stuff.
Exactly.
Breaking switches left and right.
Oh yeah.
So then people got to buy more switches.
Exactly.
Talk about
System seller.
Yeah,
right.
That
oh my
for
god.
A fucking punch real quick.
Oh fuck.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. Oh man, Nintendo, you could do a lot. They're not hurting. This Switch will be around for a while.
They could do Wii Sports HD. Wii Sports Resort HD. Sell them for full price.
Yeah.
60 bones, baby.
For each like mini game.
And never go on sale.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Grandma's gonna buy it and they know it.
Oh, you know what would be cool if they really wanted to sell more Switches is they could find if they found a way to, like, let's say I had two Switches and one of them was docked and one of them was handheld, and the handheld one functioned as a Wii U gamepad and the one in the dock functioned as like the home console part of it, so you could actually do all Wii U ports without having to change the controls.
Or update firmware and let the Wii U gamepad be compatible with the Switch.
That would also be pretty
Since
cool.
no one's using them for fucking Wii U's.
That's true.
And you could sell them now. Sell some extras that are probably stockpiled somewhere in a warehouse that you didn't sell.
That would be cool.
Right.
There's some way to like integrate the hardware.
I mean, Sony did that with the Move controllers.
And they've got the adapters for the GameCube controllers, right?
They do. Yeah.
I mean,
that's very true. Something to think about, Nintendo.
Yeah. Come on, get those Wii U's out of the dumpsters and
so
flip 'em around.
One question I do have for you guys: we got the NES classics through the online service, and then we got the Super Nintendo ones when the subscriptions were just about to run out and everything. You guys think we're getting Nintendo 64 games this year?
God,
I really do.
If they can do that,
dude, and they wouldn't even need to do like a collection of 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
If you gave us like the right 5 or 6,
you know, you're not getting GoldenEye or Banjo, like
because rare.
Yeah.
Nah,
dude, I'm thinking like Mario 64, obviously.
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask,
Wave Race.
Wave Race.
Give me that
yeah.
Wave Race.
What about the Mario parties, dude? What about like the original Mario parties?
Mario Kart.
Talk about Joy-Con drift.
Mario Kart would be huge.
I mean, just break your Joy-Cons. just throw them in the trash.
Dude, Pro Controller for life.
The original Smash.
Dude,
they
think of that.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, the original Smash on. Oh my god.
That would be something.
Much.
Oh man, I feel like I would finally like feel competitive again in that. Like, you know, like
for real.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be nice.
And people would get super excited. And the thing is, the Switch is in so many different gamers' hands of all ages. Every one of those releases gets some demographic buzzing. Like, oh shit, now my childhood's up. Let's go.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And okay, so one thing I will say about Animal Crossing, in the original one, you could put down you could have furniture in your house, right? And one of the types of furniture you could have was a Nintendo Entertainment System with a different video game on top. And when you pressed A, it would be like, would you like to play Donkey Kong or Balloon Fight or Excite Bike? And you'd get the full game. and you could buy these, NESs for 3,000, bells in game currency. And what I want in the new game is kind of a similar function where it's like you buy an NES or a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo 64 in the game for a certain amount of bells. You put that shit down in your house or outside or whatever, and you click on it, and it like just shoots you to your online Super Nintendo or NES or Nintendo 64, so you can just play your
virtual console.
Yeah. You can just play those games through Animal Crossing and just have it be a way to shoot through. Just as a little shout out to the original game.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, E3, PAX East, Half-Life, Animal Crossing, Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you guys want to?
Yeah, I do want to touch on. Actually, two things.
Oh yeah.
And I know we're getting pressed for time, but I don't want to leave these things untouched.
Yeah, no, let's hear it.
First thing I want to talk about, and we'll throw up a little footage of it. We don't got to harp on it for too long because it is coming up. That Final Fantasy VII
That's
demo,
right.
bro.
Oh,
yeah.
That shit was the truth. And I think that it's going to be one hell of a game, man. It's the action, or the balance of the action, but also the turn-based elements are phenomenally installed. And you can switch on the fly between your characters, and they have unique abilities, and they fit right into the lore, like they're right in place, but the stuff you couldn't do in the first game, obviously.
Yeah.
But man, the love they're putting into it is so just appreciated by me, man. Just the little details. They know how much this means to so many people.
Yeah.
They took their time for a reason. You could tell, like, hold on, we said no all those years. We were gonna do it right if we ever did it. And man, just the little intricacies of going through the reactor, and that you did 20 plus years ago that you're doing in 3D now, as opposed to like pre-rendered environments from that 45 degree angle.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're hitting every note along the way too.
Oh man,
I can't wait for this. I'm not upset it's gonna be broken down into 3 games or any of that, because I feel like
it's gonna be worth the wait.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Every installment is gonna be a full experience from what it looks like. To be honest, I mean, it looks really good. It does look really good.
And after, playing Final Fantasy 15, I enjoyed a lot about that game. I haven't played all the way through it or anything, but I feel like this is more of like the direction people want to see, because the action in 15 was phenomenal. The story was a little like, wait, what's going on here? This is kind of, I just want to get to the next fight.
I need to give more time to 15 because I got pulled away from it. I really enjoyed it, but that was I got Final Fantasy 15, then Kingdom Come came out, and then Skyrim VR came out, and then you guys know what happened from there. So and plus it took up 150 something gigs on my hard drive with the textures, so I was like, I gotta make room.
It's huge. It's a huge game.
I need another SSD.
Yeah, it's good, but this game to me is gonna marry that awesome action and the innovative ideas they have with it, and the visuals. That game was beautiful to look at. Yeah. But also having like a tone and a story that do justice to those other elements. I kind of feel like that was the lacking element of 15.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, you were like Backstreet Boys on a road trip.
Yeah,
bro,
right.
You know?
The characters, I didn't like them that much. Yeah. I don't know, like off the bat, you know?
God, there was one of your team, one of the band members or whatever, that I just really didn't like. I don't remember which one, but I didn't play too much, but I watched my roommate play a good amount, and so I kind of got a little familiar with the characters. And oh man, honestly, I am excited to check this out. I might cave and get this before all 3 are out, because part of me just wants to get all 3 on computer, or however many it is when it's done. But
that's like years.
Yeah. Away. I know. It's like, part of me is just like, man, I don't want to try out the game, love it, and then feel like I'm getting blue balls and have to wait for the rest of it. But at the same time, it's like, it looks really good.
But you're looking at it like, you keep saying like the rest of the game. Like, no, you're gonna play a whole game.
I'm even saying it's like it's gonna be a full thing.
That's the thing you're getting segments of, is the narrative. But you're getting full games along that way, you know?
And that's the thing, it's like, you know, the Lord of the Rings, for example, I got a full movie every time, but it was like, oh shit, then you get even more when the next one comes out, and it's, you know, it gives you something to look forward to as well.
Yeah.
But have you ever watched all 3 of them in a row?
Yes, and...
Did you get fatigued?
Yes.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
Case closed.
I feel like that like builds the anticipation too. You're like, oh, I just sat through 3 hours of amazing. I can't wait. 2 years from now, I could do it again. So like, damn, dude, I got 6 more hours to go today. Even this opening, oh my god.
Yeah, I like the music. I like the visual style and everything. It kind of looks.
Yeah.
It looks like if it had come out in this generation instead.
Yeah, it was definitely ahead of its time. I think we get to see what it could really be, but let's go. I just want to see Cloud jump in here real quick, and we can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to end on something we've touched on before that I thought would already be out by now, honestly, but I'm not mad that it's not. Through the lighting and the graphics.
It's nice that, like, you know, even though this got delayed, it's nice that at least the demo came out on March 3rd, so you could at least they got you some.
Wet your whistle, you know, get a feel for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like demos, man.
Yeah.
I feel like they're making a comeback.
They should. Demo discs back in the day, those were like little hidden treasures.
Yeah.
Still kind of hard to believe Cloud's in Super Smash Bros. As a playable character. Like,
I know, right?
That's
That is
pretty
weird.
cool.
Yeah.
Pretty
Snake,
awesome.
Cloud.
Yeah, Snake.
Smash
Once
Bros.
I got Snake in, I was like, okay, I guess, you know,
All
I guess the
right,
doors were
that's
open.
it.
Yeah.
The Sonic, if we want to be real, what the? That's the most mind-blowing.
I still
Sonic
remember
being
that.
in a Nintendo game.
Yeah. To this day, I remember that reveal, and I was just like, I was so excited. Oh my god! And they were playing that Sonic Adventure 2 music in the video, and I'm like, oh, let's go.
Nice.
Dude, crazy. What a world, dude.
Yeah.
I would have not believed any of this shit back in the day.
Yeah.
The last thing we were talking about or referencing, man, that Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
man.
no. That's gonna be.
It's been so
awesome.
long since that first announcement. I kind of forgot it. I mean, it's been in the back of my mind. I've been like, every time I see a sword-based game, it makes me like, oh, what's going on with that? But it's not ever like where I can get excited. This made me get excited seeing this trailer for it.
Yeah.
Might as well just go on.
Yeah, just put that shit on the screen. They did the right thing though by waiting for the hype from Sekiro to die down. Like not releasing it too close together.
Yeah.
Because they overlap a lot in like visual and like gameplay aesthetics.
Yeah. No, I mean, Neo 2 is just around the corner, I think. But I think it's smart of them to compete with Neo instead of Sekiro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, nothing against Neo, man. But Sekiro won Game of the Year.
This game, and it looks like its own thing, but for sure, I think it's.
I think this is going to get nominated.
Stand out. Yeah.
I think this is going to be a contender for Game of the Year.
Speaking of Neo, did you hear the confirmation from Team Ninja?
No.
That they are hearing that they hear the fans who want more Ninja Gaiden.
Oh.
They're like, we hear you.
All right.
Bro, if they're like, no, we're just going to let these guys get their souls out, get their whatever's in, and then the originators are going to come back. And we're going to piss everyone off with purple bitches throwing pillars again.
Dude, that might be my first foray. Maybe I'll... Dude, this looks awesome.
I love the move to make games hard again, make skill come back.
Yeah.
It's leading to a lot of cool titles coming out. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be one of them, but we're talking about like Neo, Ninja Gaiden.
I think it's a natural step forward from like the transition from 2D to 3D kind of meant that, you know, 3D games kind of paved the way for more easy experiences in a way because of just where the market was and what they were trying to do, like with arcade games and trying to get players to put in more.
Yeah.
It was just different time, but it's nice to see that difficulty kind of making a comeback.
I hope this game has good difficulty.
Dude, that's the thing. The combat for this game is what has me the most like, I wonder how that's gonna play.
It looks like it's gonna be like, I don't know. When I saw like the stealth stuff, the way it moved, I wonder if it's gonna be kind of like a mix of like Shadow of War and like The Witcher / Assassin's Creed, you know?
I'd like it to be like a blend of Witcher 3 and Assassin's Creed and Sekiro.
Hell yeah. Little Tenchu stealth assassins in there.
Yeah.
That right there
is
ridiculous. That's a first party game from Sony, so
and it's Sucker Punch,
June 26th.
Way sooner than we were thinking, but then I was thinking anyway. I thought that was gonna be like September.
I thought it might have been like a launch title, like straddling the generation, you know?
Yeah.
It would have been a good one, you know what I mean? It would have been different, you know what I mean? They'd have to pair it with some other home run hitters for sure, because that'd have been kind of a risk. But the delay made me think that. Either way, man, I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah.
I'm honestly more likely to buy that than Last of Us. My roommate's gonna get Last of Us, and I'm gonna play through the story. And if I like it enough, maybe I'll get my own copy. But there's no multiplayer, and
that Factions was a big deal in the last one.
But they said they might. I think they're working on like a standalone thing that's like it. So
I might look into. If they do, then I might buy that. But
that's
I mean,
cool.
you know, if this is just a one-time story kind of deal, unless the story like goes down the road I want it to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude, this story's gonna be good, bro.
It's probably gonna be all right. There's certain things about it. I don't want to get into it, but I mean, I just hope it's a red pill in disguise. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Bro,
because it looks.
No spoilers. I haven't played the first one, so.
Yeah, no. I'm not talking about anything from the first game, but it looks kind of blue pilled. I mean, Neil, what's his name? He is. Do you know who Anita Sarkeesian is? Yeah, he's friends with her.
She's also not the most popping thing these days.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? As far as the traffic, I saw something where I don't know, man. Even so, isn't he just doing the show, or like is he rocking with?
He's also he's the director of Last of Us Part 2. He's like creative director
all
of the game. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this much: from what I've seen so far of the game,
it looks awesome. It really does. I just don't like the focus on the lesbian stuff, but that's just me.
As long as they don't like hammer it home.
I mean, they have so far.
They already established it, right? So to me, like once it's already established, cool, it's there.
Yeah.
Let it just be there. You know what I'm saying? And
as long as
that's the most respectful way to do it.
Well, that's exactly. I cannot agree with you more. That's how they should do it. But they're not being very on the nose. I mean, they're being pretty on the nose so far with like the marketing and everything. Like,
well, I mean,
I get it. It's a revenge story. I get it. But we'll see.
I want to see. I mean, there's a lot more to that world than that too. I feel like if they get caught up exploring that element of that world, then that's a massive fail. Because if you get caught up exploring any just small element of that and getting stuck on it, when it's a post-apocalyptic fucking just story of how people act in these scenarios, there's so much to explore there. Yeah. So much to explore there.
There is and I mean, again, without spoilers, with what happened in the first game, there's plenty to explore. There's a lot that they can do. There's a lot they can do, man. I mean, Kevin, you gotta play through the first one.
Yeah. I'm gonna play through the remastered version.
You got
at some point.
man.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It still might be my favorite story. That I don't know, man. It's tough, but it's
up there, man. Mm-hmm. It's up there.
That game made me shed a tear in the first 5 minutes. That's all I'm gonna say.
And that's not the last time it happens in that game, dude. That is a wonderfully written, like, well acted, produced, like, just the narrative's just cream of the crop.
I have faith in the sequel.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping.
I'm not gonna get apprehensive until I have more reason, but I'm not.
I just don't want them to get too preachy, and I don't want them to get their heads up their butts about stuff. I don't know. I don't want them to get too woke. That's just me.
I feel you, man. We'll see. I mean, I haven't seen anything that makes me worry, but I haven't seen everything you've seen either. But I just want the damn game to come out.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Don't delay it. The fact that they're not putting factions in it makes you feel like, they're putting extra emphasis on that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they want to get it.
The gameplay looks awesome. It looks so fun. Like, everything that the first game did, and then like also being able to interact with the environments more and hide in new types of places, and just the nuances with the combat and dodging attacks and stuff. It looks really good. Looks really good.
And brutal. That's the other thing too. The brutality of it.
Oh my god, I know.
Makes me not worry about people, like wanting to have like this. Like you're going to a place already visually in with the gruesomeness of that gore and just it's fucking visceral, man. It's just, and not only that, it's not just that you see on the player committing the act. Like it's almost like pain and like you see what they're going through. Like, all the emotion that's shown through that. Man, that's just gonna be a journey, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. Hurry up.
Too big. Well, actually, to be honest, I mean, Sony's got a pretty strong lineup this year so far. Because, I mean, Neo is coming out soon, and that's only PlayStation and computer, I think.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, so you got that in March, and then you got Final Fantasy as an exclusive in April. Then you got Last of Us exclusive in May, and then Ghost of Tsushima in June. Pretty strong ending year for PlayStation, man. That's pretty good. That's better than last year already, because last year it was only Days Gone and Death Stranding.
I think they're just trying to clear the way for whatever they have to do to build the hype train up for the PlayStation 5, dude. You gotta get these PlayStation 4 ones we know about out and then start.
Maybe some big releases, yeah.
Yep. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get. I mean, we were talking about the spring and all that shit now, and I'm starting to get that same feeling about like that second half of the year. Like, okay, what the fuck are they gonna be talking about real fucking soon?
Yeah.
What is happening this year? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Launch titles are always super interesting and a good time to explore. And it shows you what their ambition is. You know?
Yeah.
Let's go for the gusto.
Yeah.
That's the thing. All Microsoft's really focusing on is the Master Chief Collection, as far as games themselves specifically from their first-party studios this year, anyway. From what I'm seeing.
Well, they bought all those other ones.
Yeah,
though,
yeah. As far as we know,
they're all
got,
on Series X and all that stuff. At least initially, is going to be cross-generation for Xbox One. Like Halo Infinite, I think is going to be on Xbox One as well, but also on computer. And that's the thing. It's like I'm happy I don't have to get an Xbox, but at the same time, it's like I'd like a reason to. I don't know. It's cool to be able to just have access to that library, but at the same time, I don't know. It's going to be a fun generation.
Yep. Yeah.
Give me a reason.
Yeah.
And a healthy Xbox means a healthier gaming, right? So nail this one.
Yeah.
Fucking nail it. I want everyone to nail their launch this time. It'd be dope to see a neck-to-neck race from the jump, not somebody.
That would be better for everyone. It would be better for Sony. Well, okay, it would be better for Microsoft, and it would be better for the consumers. It might not be as good for Sony because I think they enjoy having that like huge lead.
Oh, for sure.
But it would keep them in check, man.
Keep them hungry too.
It would keep them from doing the kind of stuff that they tried doing with the cross-play last generation and everything, and no one needs a big head.
Went from no to okay, we'll put our baseball game on your Switch over the Xbox. Okay.
Like, dang, that did a backflip pretty quickly there. Just like
money talks though, man. Like you got a hell of a game. It's a sports game. Everyone that has all platforms wants to play baseball somewhere.
Yep.
Might as well make the money. They're gonna spend it, But,
exactly.
Yeah.
But on that note, we got anything else you wanted to touch on?
I think that wraps it up for us.
Yeah, that's about it. So the new Skyrim mod came out. Just before we end it, I just gotta throw it out. It's a big one. It's a cool one. This guy Shizov, he's one of the best modders. It's a mouse pointer mod, so you can use like your controller to select inventory by clicking in like the user interface instead of just going through the controllers.
I like that. That's
big mod. More to come, I think, with those style mods. This is some big coding efforts that made this happen.
Nice.
So yeah, thanks Shizov, thanks Expired. You guys made some good work. Yeah.
Right?
So I got to download it and test it out. But that's it.
Word up. Now it's a complete episode.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been. That was close.
Skyrim, man. I know.
That was close.
Exactly.
I almost didn't talk about it.
On that note.
Yeah.
Hip hop for life, baby.
Hip hop for life.
We'll holla at you next time.